listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? On the Fly is back again. This is episode 114, and our topic tonight is top 10 favorite David Lee Roth solo songs. And so we didn't do anything from the Van Halen era with him. We just did everything from Eat 'em and Smile onward after that. So me and Worden had a good time with this. Worden definitely listened to a lot more David Lee Roth solo than I did. He's more of an expert on it than I am, but it all worked out. You'll hear. Actually, it's ironic, because we recorded this a while back, but putting it out this week because David Lee Roth's new song just came out. I guess it's the shit that, the shit that killed Elvis. It's a bouncy acoustic ditty that tackles the perils of fame. Some of the lyrics are, give me the babes and the dames, the groupies and hoes, the ones with no last names. I'm talking best in show. He declares at one point before noting that such a lifestyle will land him in a tomb with a view because of death by pizza. So I have not listened to that one yet. I have to check it out. But it should be interesting. Some of the news going on this week. Kiss started their final run, maybe, on the End of the Road tour that has been going on forever. No fault of their own because, COVID's messed them up. Last night, this is a Monday, the 23rd. So let's see, Sunday night they were in Cleveland. Paul said, this is the 27th time and the last time we'll be joining you. I know it's sad, but it's time for a joyous celebration. Excuse me. The set list, I'm looking to see if I don't think it was any big changes in the set list. I think Making Love has been added to the set list since here we go. Get ready to be shocked. Shock me. Detroit Rock City, Shout Out Loud, Deuce, War Machine, Heaven's on Fire, I Love It Loud, Say Yeah, Cold Gin, Lick It Up, Calling Dr. Love, Making Love, Psycho Circus, 100,000 Years, God of Thunder, Love Gun, I Was Made for Loving You, Black Diamond, and then the encores, which is nothing changed either. Beth, Do You Love Me, and Rock and Roll All Night. Now, Paul also shot down rumors that they would be doing a residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Said, don't get your hopes up. And we've talked about this in past shows. U2 is there. They are extending their residency there. But honestly, do you think Kiss can draw the people there now? And I think really, if you ask Gene, he might say, well, it's a possibility. Paul is so ready to get out of Kiss, get it over with, and get to Soul Station, I guess, that he's ready. He's just ready to do it. I mean, I watched a video that was on the Shout It Out Loudcasters, and if you haven't checked out the Shout It Out Loudcast podcast, the number one Kiss podcast in the world, Tom and Zeus do a great job over there, but somebody posted in the Loudcasters Facebook group a guy that paid, I want to say it was like $11,000 for a good Paul Stanley guitar that was played in concert, and then got to meet Paul. But if you see the video of the meet and greet with Paul, it was just like, ready to go. No personality. I know one time the guy, because Paul's son is opening up, this must have been last night. Paul's son's band is opening up for Kiss for some of the last shows, not the last two shows, though, I heard. But yeah, he was like, hey, I bet you're a proud papa tonight. And he was like, no, not really. Just very unpersonable. I mean, he was just like going through the motions. Guy just spent $11,000 with you to buy a guitar from you. and meet you because he's such a big fan, you could show a little more, like, hey, appreciation. I know you've got so many fans and you've got so many, so much money and all this. $11,000 probably a drop in the bucket to you, but this was probably a big chunk of change for this guy, and he wanted to meet his idol. If he didn't think a lot of Paul, wasn't a big fan of Paul, he wouldn't be chucking out $11,000. So yeah, I mean, come on. I just think Paul's ready to go. He criticized the people at home, like me, probably, for the set list. Um, and if you change the set list a little bit before you decide to hang it up, then maybe we wouldn't say anything like that. But Paul is just Paul right now. I don't know how to describe it. Very, very ready to get it over with, I believe. So it is what it is. What else we got here? Weird Al, who we just did with Brad Rustoven a couple of episodes ago, our top 10 favorite Weird Al song. Weird Al turned 64 today. Great people were born in the month of October. I just turned 50. Last Monday, I've been 50 for a week. Don't feel any different, guys. I really don't. I may look a little older, but I don't. This gray's been here way before 50. And want to tell you about, On the Fly is going to do a little side project. Starting next week, it will be for you wrestling fans out there. We've got a new side podcast. It's going to be a side project of On the Fly. It'll be right here for you to see. Me, and of course Worden will be there, and our buddy all the way from Australia, the Hitman, Jack Pinocchio, will be doing our side podcast called the Triple Threat Main Event for us three. If you don't know what a Triple Threat Main Event, go back a little bit in time. Some of you older wrestling fans will probably know what that is. But check it out. We're looking forward to that. We had Jack on before, and now Jack is going to become, he's always been a part of the family. Now he's officially a part of the family, the Hitman. So before we get into the episode, I want to tell you guys, we talked a little bit about it on a live show last week. Last Saturday, for one of the things I want to do for my birthday, go out to eat with my wife and my daughter. And we went to Williamson, and there was a record shop that just opened up in June that I wanted to check out. So we went over there to Williamson and check it out. It's called Everybody's Record Shop. You'll see a little, I mean, it's nothing special, but a little commercial right after this before we get into episode 114, excuse me. But yeah, you'll see the inside of it, what he's got, and hear a little bit about that place. But check them out. Everybody's Record Shop. It's at 101 West Main Street, Unit B in Williamson, North Carolina. If you're ever over that way, check them out. Dallas Dolls. With a name like Dallas, he's got to be a Cowboy fan, and of course he is. But check those guys out. And guys, here we go. Episode 114, our top 10 favorite David Lee Roth solo songs. So you guys have a great week. Enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next time on The Fly. Hey guys, it's Stevie from On The Fly. And if you're looking for a vinyl experience, let me tell you about Everybody's Record Shop in Williamson, North Carolina. I just went in a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, I was so impressed. Let me tell you a little bit about this place. Everybody's Record Shop is the place to catch your music fix. They are a local family-owned record store based in downtown Williamson, and they specialize in the sale and trade of vinyl records, tapes, CDs, and much more. When you come to them, they want you to feel like you just stepped back in time to the glory days of music. Walking through the front door, you'll be greeted with a surplus of rock, blues, country, classical, soul, anything you can think of. They've got it. Everyone you'll see behind the counter has a deep passion and love for music, and through their shop, they want to help create memories and experiences that you won't forget. Music has the incredible power to bring together different people from all around under a common love. Their goal is to do the same through customer experience and the music they provide. This place is for the music lovers. And I'm telling you guys, if there is something they don't have, let them know. They will order it for you. Go check them out at 101 West Main Street, Unit B, or you can reach them on the phone at 252-802-8069, on Instagram at Everybody's Record Shop, or on Facebook at Everybody's Record Shop as well. What's up, guys? On the fly, back here again tonight, and guess what? Who we got back? Guess who's back? Like
you got a new co-host, man. Yeah. Introduce me to your audience, Stevie.
Been a while. We've been, busy with things here and there and everywhere. But
Stevie's been busy. I've been slacking off.
Yeah, he's always slacking off. I mean, he never does anything. So, but yeah, it has been a busy summer. I know I can't speak for Worden, but for me, it's been really busy. So, trying to catch up and get things back going again.
Yeah, here and there. I don't know, man. I babysit my buddy's house for a couple of days, hang out with the dogs in the pool, drink a couple beers, and I won't name a beer because I don't want to get canceled or nothing. I won't name any beers. Yeah, but it was cold and it was hot, so I drank it.
Yep. So, lots been going on since we last were here together. First things first, some sad news. Yes, well, we're recording this on August 1st.
Yeah.
So, yesterday.
Sad news. Steeler camp is starting. So,
happy news. Dak is back at it again, throwing in.
Hey, did you see that? I showed you that today. Well, hey, he's right on schedule.
Look, one of the guys that helps me coach he's a Cowboys fan, and I said something to him about that. Yeah, but you didn't see the next clip where he threw a touchdown, and I was like, okay. But anyway,
well, he threw a touchdown, but to the wrong guy, so he threw two.
But anyway, sad news yesterday. A pop cultural icon, Paul Reubens, also known as, or better known as, Pee Wee Herman, passed away yesterday at the age of 70. Apparently, he had really kept it private, a 6-year battle with cancer. I know he put a statement out. Well, they put a statement out after his death that he wrote the night before about he just wanted to keep it private, and and I did not. I guess I don't think people age like that, but I did not realize the guy was 70 years old. I mean,
no,
and I should, because what Pee Wee's Big Adventure was like, 85, 86, something like that. Yeah. And, but yeah, he had been in a bunch of movies before, some Cheech and Chong movies. Yeah. Sad to think that guy went through all that too. I mean, people go through it every day, but, a 6-year battle, evidently he was a fighter too, but just that cancer, man, cancer sucks. Cancer can kiss my ass.
Did you see that? I don't know if I sent you that TikTok of, I don't know if it was a Saturday Night Live thing, but it was that guy that's, I forgot what his name is. He's on, God, he played Adam Sandler's son, and That's My Boy.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah, when they did the shots. Yeah,
I see that.
I had to send it to you because it's pretty funny. It's like they're doing a bunch of shots, and of course it's like, oh, we got these people here to do an intervention. I'd never seen it before, but it's hilarious. I don't know if it was whatever. I had to send that to you. I posted something on Facebook today. Of course, I'm from San Antonio, and what we are famous from is the Alamo. They posted something on their Twitter page. They posted something on their Twitter page saying ever since that movie came out, there hasn't been a day goes by when tourists,
the basement.
Hey, can we see the basement? God, that was such a great movie. The show was great too. And I posted something too on my on the 80s page about Lawrence Fishburne. He was a cowboy. He was a cowboy on that show. His birthday is there, and then I was on TikTok and I started seeing all the tequila things. I go, no, don't tell me. And sure enough, he passed away.
Yep, it was sad news to see. And talking to somebody today at work, and they were talking about, same thing we've said several times. We're just at that age now where people are going to start going away from here, and it's sad, but it's something you got to deal with. What is it? Two things you're going to have to do in life: pay taxes and die.
Death and taxes, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Pee Wee was just a great entertainer. And he had his problems in the past, but
I was thinking about him because he was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Yeah.
Him and Luke Perry are both gone.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, talking about the scandal that he had. I mean, ain't nothing compared to what.
Oh, nothing compared. Like, that's why you saw me like frown my face up, because it's nothing compared to what a lot. But when
he came back a few months after it happened, and it was like, heard any good jokes lately? I don't know if it was the MTV Music Awards.
MTV, it was a music awards or the movie award. I think it was the music awards.
Yeah, but he was hilarious, dude. He just cracked me up.
Yeah.
And the James Brolin playing Pee Wee, right? Paging Mr.
Herman. Mr. Pee Wee Herman.
That's just great, man. I mean, rest in peace, man. It just and there's so many bad people in the world. It's like, why Pee Wee? He made so many people happy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. A lot of bad people that are.
And they also showed that part with him and the Miz.
Oh yeah,
on Raw. And, I mean, you gotta love the Miz too, because he's so good, and he doesn't care about putting people over.
No,
but there was a more perfect person for that, with the Miz, and it was great, man.
I watched that. I did watch that today. So
who was that guy that was the Miz assistant? Whatever happened to that dude? He just disappeared.
He actually, I can't remember his name.
Alex something? What is that? Alex something?
Yeah, it was Alex. But he made a comeback, tried to make a comeback this year, and he had one of the most embarrassing clips. He was trying to jump outside the ring, and he made a fool of himself. So I think his
Shockmaster Part 2 or what?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Was it bad as Titus going under the ring?
It still doesn't beat Titus. No. Titus, and then there was, I don't know. There was one, I don't know.
Dude, that Titus was rigged. Dude, there ain't no way he did that. The Shockmaster,
they swear up and down that was not rigged.
Yeah, but they swear up and down that Shawn Michaels collapsed in the ring, and I bought it.
Yeah, but that was different. That's a story.
I bought it.
But it's storyline. This didn't have anything to do with a storyline. They didn't come back and say, well, since he went under the ring, they could have said he was hurt or something like that, but he got back up.
I could watch
by the look on his face.
I could watch that shit over and over.
He's lucky. Yeah. He's lucky when he went under there that he didn't hit a beam under that, because that's several stuff that he could have hit his head on under there.
He was just looking for the Little People's Court. Remember that one?
All right, so
we know way too much about wrestling, dude.
We do. We are wrestling toward.
Yep.
So you just finished a book?
Yes. It's funny in the 80s.
You can read?
Huh?
You can read, or you get audiobook?
No, it's audiobook. I'm old. No, and when I read now, I fall asleep. I have to listen to it now. So.
Oh yeah.
I have become Mr. Magoo, dude. I can't see and I got no hair. So. Yeah, and people are like, "Who the hell's Mr. Magoo?"
Yeah, and take yourself.
I get the audio, I get the Audible and stuff, and I love it. And it's really hard when somebody that wrote the book narrates it. It's better. Like Joe Perry did it; it was great. Sammy did his; it was great. I tried Steven Tyler's book, but if Steven Tyler's not telling you the story, there ain't no way you'd believe it since it's so crazy. This guy was okay; he'd done a few other ones, but Steven didn't narrate it. But I wasn't a big Rat fan growing up. I thought they were okay. I didn't really get into them until like I Want a Woman, which I love Reach for the Sky, even though they say it's one of their worst.
Yeah.
I love Waco Jr., Reach for the Sky, and Nobody Rides for Free, and then Detonator. That's the Rat I got in. But I knew Round and Round, and I love Rat now. I mean, I think they are one of the most underrated bands. They have so many good songs.
Yeah.
But people call them a one-hit wonder, which is crazy. And I agree with Zeus. That ballad on Detonator is awesome. Everybody hates it,
Step
but
away.
Huh?
One Step Away.
Giving Yourself Away.
Oh, there's
I like that song. I like
I
ballads.
like Giving Yourself Away. I do too. There's another one up there. One Step Away is more, to me, it's just as much of a ballad as Giving Yourself Away.
But it's a really good book. I mean, he doesn't pull any punches. He talks about how, he did blow with, he names names with rock stars, and they were talking about how they were partying with Poison, and Brett couldn't keep up. I'm like, well, he's a type 1 diabetic. Hello. He talks about Robin and how Robin got real, and how Robin was like a god, a guitar god, and how, Warren took over, and he just he got to do the heroin. He was never the same. But evidently, him and Tawny had kept their relationship up going on. And I guess OJ was seeing her at the time. So I guess she was cheating on Coverdale with Warren and OJ. And it was
Warren or Robin?
Robin. No, I'm sorry, yeah. Robin. Yeah, sorry. And he said that Robin told Steven, he's like, that guy threatened to cut my head off. And it's like, wow. I mean, before I guess the whole, looking for the real killers, OJ, did that. But I mean, he talks about, the 80s, how it went up, how he started arcade with Fred Curry. And I mean, he made a lot of money because there was a lot of money back then. But I mean, he just pulls no punches. And if you want and I think I've heard people talk about how good this is. It's a good book. It's a really good, if you like the debauchery about the 80s, but it was more his story. It wasn't about, dirt with anybody. He doesn't really talk bad about anybody. And I got a new respect for him because he didn't cut people down. Right. I mean, you get some of those books, they just
that's the whole book is cutting somebody else down.
But this was his story. He talked about how they started, and shit, they had a hell of a run from 1980 to like what, early, and he left Rat after Detonator because he was just burned out. He said he had to walk away from it. I mean, if you like good stories, he talks about the strip and, how you just had to get noticed and how everybody was copying everybody and how it just got out of hand. How, grunge didn't kill hair metal. They killed themselves. I mean, it didn't help, but I mean, good book. You like classic hair bands? Rat's one of the best.
Yeah. Rat. I got into Rat early on. I mean, when Round and Round hit, that was when I got into it. And I was a big Rat fan. Bought the VHS, the home video that was a Christmas present one year. But with Rat, let's see. They had an EP that came out first because I went backwards and bought that after Out of the Cellar. But then when Invasion came out, and I love Invasion. Invasion of Your Privacy is a great album. You got You're in Love. You got Lay It Down, which Lay It Down's I just listened to a podcast. Pot of Thunder. They did a entire podcast with Jericho dedicated to that song. And how in the world, listen, that's what they do. But they made that episode last over 2 hours just talking about that song. I mean, they got off the rails a few times, of course, but talking about the kid in the video, the guy that was playing Steven in the video, how he looks just as bug-eyed now as he did back then. And then talking about, and you go back and look at some of this stuff, and it does not age well. The Lay It Down video, when he said, well, Steven, what did you wish for at the end? The little 8-9-year-old girl, Steven, what did you wish for? And he does the whole thing like that. The little kid does it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Can you imagine if that happened today?
Oh, if that would never happen today. They would never let that happen today.
I mean, talk about that song. That's the one with the clown, right? The party or whatever.
Yeah.
The little boy, he always reminded me of Damien from the old.
That's exactly what I think, and that's exactly what they said. He's got a kind of Damien quality.
He's a creepy little kid, but that guitar intro, dude. I used to think Poison was the top hair band. I'm leaning. Poison wasn't around as long, and Poison didn't have as many classics as Rat does. And I love Poison.
Yeah.
But I really think Rat was the king, bro. I mean,
Rat,
yeah.
Rat's thing was, it seemed like, and just like you, I like Reach for the Sky. I like Detonator. But their popularity, instead of getting higher as the albums went on, they kind of peaked at Round and Round. I mean, Invasion, I love Invasion, but I saw it. I mean, they were on the verge of like arena. They were doing arenas. They were doing big.
I mean, look at the I Want a Woman video. They're in a freaking huge arena.
But Dancing Undercover, I was not a big fan of. I mean, it was okay. There were some good songs on there, but it's not it felt like they changed.
What's the one of Percy's on the front?
That's Dancing Undercover.
This shows you I have that on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, quoting Tom or nothing, but I got that at a bin for like $1.
Yeah.
This is like in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the track listing, man, that's some damn good song on that.
Yeah, there's some good songs. That was probably the least popular of that batch, was that. But I remember I bought that on cassette as soon as it came out.
We got to do a Rat episode like top 10 because
we'll have to. We can definitely.
Also, I think they on the Shout Out Loudcast they were talking about they were reviewing some Rat album, and I think Zeus said it. He goes, you know why Rat never made it? They didn't have a Bret Michaels. They didn't have a Vince Neil.
They didn't have the look.
Stephen Percy wasn't a pretty boy. He wasn't Bret. He wasn't Bret. He wasn't Vince.
No.
And that's a lot of the audience right there are women. So
yeah, but I'm telling you that first, like I said, about the time I bought the home video, that was after Out of the Cellar and about the time Invasion was just coming out. So that was probably at the peak of their popularity with Rat. I mean, they could do no wrong.
Hell, if Robin would have been the lead singer, they might have sold more albums.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful man.
And tall dude. He was a big dude. I mean,
he was a big dude.
Yeah, but I still say to this day, one of my most underrated guitar players is Warren DeMartini. I mean, and he shouldn't be underrated, but people don't talk about him enough. I mean, he was incredible. And them two together, him and Crosby together, it was great. If you go on YouTube and listen to the isolated guitar parts on Round and Round, oh man, it's great.
I love that part in Round and Round. We're on the table, then he points up.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's just
See, that home video had all the videos too, so I got to see that. And what was the other one? The one there was one from the EP called "You Think You're Tough," and that video, if you watch that, has got cameos like crazy. The two of the not Mick Mars, but Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx are in it. Ozzy's in it. Jakey Lee, some of the guys from Scorpions. It's wild, but that's probably one of my favorite Rat videos. But
there's a couple Milton Berle stories in it too. That guy.
Oh yeah.
You talk about getting canceled. That guy was still alive. Woo. Yeah. Some of that generation.
They were actually talking about him on Shout Out Loudcast. That was when the Rat. No, it was on the Pod of Thunder one. They were talking about Uncle Milty.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, just go on YouTube and look up some celebrity roasts.
Oh gosh, I have watched
those Dean Martin celebrity roasts.
I've watched a ton of them, and I'll tell you who I was really enjoying. I forgot how funny he was freaking Don Rickles.
Oh yeah,
that guy his sarcasm and stuff was incredible. I love Don Rickles. So tonight we decided.
Speaking about getting canceled today,
we decided, of course, we're going to do another top 10 list, and this one was different because when we talked about it, we're like, okay, we're going to do his top 10, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm not a big fan of his solo stuff. I said, let's just throw Van Halen stuff in too. So tonight is going to be our top 10 David Lee Roth songs.
I brought my pencil.
I don't feel tardy. Hold on. Let me get mine, by the way, before I forget.
You getting your pencil?
Yep, I got my pen. So that's the criteria tonight. It's just top 10 David Lee Roth with Van Halen or solo. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys that the majority of my list are with Van Halen. And
see, this is why Stevie keeps me around, because
exactly.
I balance him out.
And
I was a huge David Lee Roth fan.
yeah, I mean, he started off that Eat 'Em and Smile album, I love. But after that, there was some songs like, what's the name?
No. Save it for your list. Save it for your
Yeah,
list.
I'll save it for the list.
Because the songs you're probably going to cut down are probably on my list.
No, I wasn't going to cut that down, but I'm just saying.
Talk a little bit, Stevie, about how you got into Van Halen.
Van Halen came to me in 1982. That was about the time I really started listening to it. And I've said this before. I started listening to radio a lot, and Casey Kasem, Top 40, and Van Halen was all over it. And I think I remember the first time I remember hearing them was when they did the remake of Pretty Woman. And that was on Diver Down. I think my brother may have had got the cassette, and I listened to that. And then, you hear Happy Trails and all that stuff. Well, no, we actually got the 45 record, because the B-side of Pretty Woman was Happy Trails. And it went from there, of course, after Diver Down. 1984 comes out, and that's such a monumental hit. Still not my favorite Van Halen album, but hit after hit that was on the radio. They were all over the radio. And that just pretty much made me a Van Halen fan. I discovered the back catalog after that, which you'll probably see a lot on my list. But yeah, and then David Lee Roth, I stuck with him. I remember watching when they split up. I think MTV did an hour-long show where he was talking about his new band. He was talking about and then they premiered Yankee Rose. And it just went from there. But I kind of dropped off with David Lee Roth after Skyscraper for a while. And
like a lot of people.
I just never got back. Into him. When he came back to Van Halen, I was like, okay, that's great. But, I tried different kind of truth.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't like I mean, of course, I didn't get as excited as I was about Kiss Reunion. But, I was like, okay, he's back. All right. Anyway, but what about you?
I was late to the party. I didn't discover Van Halen until Jump. I mean, I was 12 years old when 1984 came out.
A lot of people didn't until Jump.
And I tell some of my older workers that of course, Kiss is my favorite band. Like, you didn't know them before that? Because you assume Kiss, you like the Stones.
Van Halen, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, David Lee, my buddy Brett told me one time he thought David Lee Roth was the first guy with long hair that, wasn't pitching for the other team. that, that he was,
Yeah.
And I had another buddy of mine that told me he was. Oh, he's a, what? I won't say the word here.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing Van Halen and just thinking, man, that guitar player is just so happy because he was wasted. And, but I carried the torch for David Lee Roth for so long. And then he came out with California Girls.
Yeah.
Which, people didn't know at the time was a cover. I mean, I knew, but he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything new, and he did covers. He took the safe route. And then I kind of resented Sammy a little bit with the whole, David's better, but I still like Sammy. But I kind of thought David was above Sammy until I saw them together in 96 or 98. 98, I think they did that world. I don't know what the name of it was called. But Sammy blew him off the stage, and David Lee Roth was still stuck in the 70s doing this all kind of judo stuff. He had a Van Halen cover band called the Atomic Punks, which was pretty cool. But Sammy and then it took that moment to realize I've always liked Sammy more, but I just never admitted it. So I think that is because I'm the direct opposite of you. I like David Lee Roth solo more than I do his stuff in Van Halen.
Right.
Like there's probably more people on my list. It could be about equal. Both as a solo versus Van Halen.
All right. I mean, looking back over the years, and everybody says, "Are you team Hagar, or are you Van Hagar or Van Halen?" And I'm like, I'm neither one. I mean, I mean, they're two different bands. If you look at it, they're two different bands. Van Halen became a totally different band when Sammy Hagar came in, and
better
5150. That was a totally different Van Halen song. There's no way you can, and I'll tell you this. Sammy can pull off Dave Van Halen songs better than Dave could pull off Sammy Van Halen songs. Dave wouldn't even try to pull off some of these songs. Can you see David Lee Roth singing Dreams or Love Walks In? No. There's no way. But, I enjoy Roth with Van Halen as much as I do Hagar with Sam. I mean, there's no hatred there. There's no like, oh, I can't listen to that. I was just, as a matter of fact, that a couple weeks ago, just flipping through YouTube with my daughter in Panama came on, and I was like, this is just a freaking great song right here. Yes. And trying to introduce her to that, which she had already heard it plenty of times before. But
I'm probably more team Van Hagar because I like more Sammy songs.
Right.
But I mean, I don't like when they cut each other down.
I don't either. It's petty.
Sammy's just been a jerk lately about David Lee Roth.
He has.
And it's like, dude, and he had regrets. He went on Howard Stern talking about how he regretted writing that book and said all that crap about Eddie. Well, David's still around, and I know David is probably annoying as you know what. But I mean, it's too different. Nobody's better. There's no such thing as the world's greatest rock band. Everything is subjective and different.
But the thing that's different between him regretting what he said about Eddie in the book, he actually had a working relationship with Eddie where he was just the replacement for David Lee Roth. I mean, David Lee Roth said, look, we can sit here, and I'm not saying you think that, but David Lee Roth threw plenty of punches at Sammy Hagar over the years.
But it's stupid. It's stupid.
It is. I mean, but they don't have any connection with each other. So
I mean, Steve,
need to drop it.
You talk all that shit about me, but hey, brother, I turned the other cheek, man. I just turned the other cheek, man.
I mean, and Roth tried his best to make a Van Halen band with his solo band with Steve Vai, the guitar guy, and then Billy Sheehan on bass, and then Greg Bissonette on drums. That was a great group, though. I really loved that group, but it was that Eat 'Em and Smile album could have been the next Van Halen album with him.
Eat 'Em and Smile or 5150?
5150.
I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah, 5150. It's close, but 5150 does it for me.
Me too.
All right, so let's get started. We're going to let you lead it off at your number 10.
My number 10 is one that Stevie probably hasn't heard since he gave up on David Lee Roth after Skyscraper. This song came on the album after it. It's called A Little Ain't Enough.
Yeah.
It is a song that I call it it's a ballad, but it's a ballad dedicated to yourself. It's like, you know what? I'm good looking, I'm funny, but why am I so lonesome? I got new Ray-Ban shades, but I'm a heartache on parade now. I love that. It's great. It's a song called Sensible Shoes. I don't know if you ever heard it.
Yes, I have.
But
I like that song.
It's a song that I think should have been a big hit, but it was.
What year was that come out?
This came out right when I graduated high school in 91.
Okay.
So it went in 91 and 92. And it had a cool video, but I remember when the other song came out, A Little Ain't Enough. I remember me and my buddy looking, it's like, damn, Ross going bald. What the hell? Because he had his hair pointed to the side.
Yeah.
And I look at it now as, a bald man, and I go, man, he had a lot of hair.
Yeah. Are you surprised though that album? I mean, because at that time too, because that's what reason I asked, because grunge was still a couple years away. That album didn't get the attention that a Van Halen album that came out the same time did.
I I I I think so, but I think Roth was trying to go more pop.
Right.
I don't think he had the because Skyscraper went real synthed out, and that's something he
Yeah, it did.
always bitched about. Eat 'em and Smile is his best solo, or I think his best solo album.
Definitely.
Even though I love A Little Ain't Enough, I think that he just didn't have that hit. I just don't think that he didn't have that Yankee Rose. He didn't have that.
He didn't have that it wasn't a
Just like
hook.
Paradise. Yeah, yeah. I
I
love that. I love that
believe me,
video. I love
I've
that song. A
listened.
Little Ain't Enough.
I listened to that album. I listened to A Little Ain't Enough, and I'm not hearing, like I do the album challenge. When I listened to it, and I was like, okay, I have not give this a chance before. I'm give it a chance, and I'm not hearing a hook or anything in there that's making me say, God, I got to listen. Like Yankee Rose, I'm not hearing anything like that. And I mean, I know it just didn't. To me, it didn't sound like a David Lee Roth album.
He had horns on it.
Yeah.
He had rip-offs. He had songs that ripped off Aerosmith, Walk This Way. But you look at the other side of the pond with Van Halen, look what they put out. They put out Fuck. You talk about a freaking balls out album. Yeah, the keyboard's a little high and stuff, but freaking Pound Cake, freaking Run Around, freaking On Top of the World. Right now, I mean, compare this. I mean, I think I like this album so much because I liked Roth.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I think that it turned a lot of people off because you have a great guitar player in Jason Becker, but you're not really using him, I mean, there's a reason why Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan were gone. And I guess Greg Bissonette, the drummer.
Yeah.
Roth was hard to work with, and he didn't want to share the spotlight.
Yeah. Bissonette left after Eat 'em and Smile. And believe it or not,
Billy Sheehan did too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't on the Skyscraper.
Or to say Bissonette's brother took Sheehan's place on Skyscraper. Matt Bissonette. I won't say now. I may be wrong, but I know he took somebody's place. And I know it wasn't his brother's.
I really didn't like Skyscraper when it came out.
Living in Paradise was, it's okay, but it didn't hit me like Yankee Rose did.
Well, I kind of felt the same way about OU812. I love it now.
That one, let me tell you this.
That was hard
that's not the great album that, back in the day, I bought it and I was like, okay, this is pretty, but you go back and listen to it now. Yeah, it's got the hits, but it's not it doesn't compare to what came before it and what came after it.
Correct.
I mean, that was probably to me the worst Sammy album they did.
Yeah,
because Balance to me is light years better than OU812.
Balance is awesome, dude.
Yeah,
they got so many
Balance
and For Unlawful Call Knowledge are both great because they have so many great deep tracks.
Yeah, people don't give Balance the credit it deserves.
And I remember hearing, and this is getting off, but when I heard Pound Cake, I go, man, that's some heavy bass. I loved it.
Yeah. All right, so my number 10, and we talked about this a little earlier, the song that pretty much introduced me to Van Halen, the Roy Orbison cover, "Oh Pretty Woman." And if you go back and you watch the video, they've always got Intruder, the instrumental, playing with that. It's kind of like that goes with this song. I mean, I don't like hearing Pretty Woman without Intruder first. The video is wacky as I don't know what. I mean, they each one of them have a different. I think what Michael Anthony is like Genghis Khan or something, and Eddie is a cowboy. Alex is like a caveman, like a.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Tarzan, but Dave is Napoleon pretty much, and then at the end, the woman, she's got the long hair. And midgets have her tied up and are like torturing her. And at the end, she loses her wig and she's not as pretty as what you thought she was. So,
Yeah, that drives me crazy too with Intruder not like on any like when you shuffle your playlist, it's like, damn it, play it together.
But it's kind of like not hearing
Eruption
we will rock you without We Are the Champions. You know
or
that
eruption or eruption before you really got me.
exactly. I mean they go together. But yeah, I just remember hearing this on the radio, and I was like, man, this is pretty good. That guitar is good, but yeah, that just started everything for me with Van Halen. So that's my number 10 is Pretty Woman. Oh, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman did not make my list.
Yeah.
I do like the song though. And it's not on my honorable mentions, but I do like it.
Yeah. Are your 20 honorable mentions?
It's been so long, see if I got 50. My number 9 is Hot for Teacher. I got it bad. I can just imagine if this got released today. Oh my God. I'm surprised that the PMRC didn't make a bigger deal about this. Maybe this is before kind of the PMRC, but I mean, can you imagine a teacher that hot dancing in school? And
I never had a teacher that hot.
I had a couple, but they didn't dance like that though.
If I've got this on my list, do you want me to talk about it now? Or do you want me to wait till later?
Just wait.
Okay.
But this song always kind of remind me of kind of like Domino always reminds me of LaGrange by ZZ Top.
Yeah.
They both kind of, but the guitar solo is just awesome. And this didn't originally make my list. I had to move one down because I listened to it. I go, God, this is such a great song.
Yeah, definitely. So that we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Well, I lost many a dollar to this, but that's another story.
All right, number 9 for me is probably the most recognized Van Halen song, and probably what started
Ice Cream Man.
Yeah. What started your love for Van Halen is Jump.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's some fatigue here with me with Jump. I still love it, but it's just got fatigue with me a little bit over the years, to where some of these other songs have just jumped over it. But yeah, you hear this every week on that Casey Kasem was like, "Is Jump gonna be number 1 again this week? Jump gonna be number 1 again this week?" It was always at the top, near the top, and when I remember it being such a big thing because Eddie Van Halen started playing keyboards, and they were like, "Oh, he's going keyboard heavy now." But on that video, he's playing the keyboards. But you take, and actually, I heard a version where they took the keyboards out of this, and the song is like really, really freaking awesome without the keyboards too. But it was different. It showed his versatility, and he knew how to play all these different things. But Jump, and hearing Roth, he does that signature that he does with a lot of
I always look for that when I'm listening to the song on the music version. It's on the video, but it's not on the music version, like on the CD or the playlist. It's like, hey man, well, y'all took the best part of it out.
Yeah.
But I remember somebody telling me this is kind of I get criticized all the time, like I didn't like Van Halen, back in the 70s. And they tell me they liken this song and maybe this album to when Kiss did Disco. A lot of fans, I don't think as many, jumped off and haven't listened to Van Halen since, which I think is stupid.
Probably like a lot of the people thought Metallica sold out when they did the Black Album too. But
or Injustice for All. A lot of people jumped off when that happened too.
Guess what? Yeah, they sold out. All right, they sold out all this stuff.
Well, I mean, I get it. I mean, there's albums that, Linkin Park was like that. I used to like them a lot, but like their first album was real rocking, but they went real a way that I just couldn't get into. And I used to like, oh, that's stupid, with Kiss or Van Halen, but I kind of understand as I'm older. It's like it just like new music, like with Sonic Boom and Monster, it's just not my deal. But I'm older. When you're younger, I think you embrace stuff more,
Yeah. But Jump, the video is awesome, and don't understand really David Lee Roth's infatuation with the flags and stuff, doing that stuff. But when you think frontman back in the day, that was David Lee Roth. He was the poster child for rock frontmen back in the day.
What got me about that video was Alex's drum kit, that it was all like almost glass looking. I mean, that was see through. That was just awesome. And then when Eddie's playing the keys like that, it's like, wow. And I'm not another song that didn't make my list or my honorable mention because it's a little bit of fatigue with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it comes on playlist. I'll listen to it. I mean, I love it.
All right. Number 8 for you.
Number 8 for me is something off Skyscraper.
Oh.
It's a song about looking back, thinking about, his bandmates that he's not with anymore. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't look back and, we didn't get along. And, I was thinking about Stevie, it's like he hadn't talked to me in 3 months, but man, we had some damn good times. And it's just, talking about a bunch of kids, just, trying to make it and stuff. I mean, you ask Eddie and Alex and even Mari and Michael, they probably have a different story. One's so good to me, damn good times. But it's just a cool ballad with, this is the height of hair metal. And it's got acoustic guitar in it. I mean, it's different. It's really different for that era.
Okay. So what was the name of that again?
Damn Good.
Damn Good.
Damn Good Times. You don't know the song?
I have to go back and listen to it. I'm sure I've heard it. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
I think you will.
Okay. Number 8 for me. And this is off Van Halen 2, 1979. And it was originally titled Bring On the Girls. But yeah, this one, woo la la, Beautiful Girls. I just remember hearing this the first time I heard this was on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you remember, they do it. You know how they do the little commercials?
Oh yeah. That's the one with
Smith's Gay with Adam Sandler and Chris Farley. And later, the original version of it is, and you maybe still find it somewhere, but they replaced that Beautiful Girls after a couple years. I don't know if Van Halen had something to do with it.
Publishing, paying for it, publishing what it was.
But yeah, it was so funny. But then I went back and saw and listened to the whole song, and it's great.
All the bills are paid. I got it. My toes in the sand. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Top of the world.
That's another song that really shows Michael Anthony how valuable he was to the band.
Oh gosh, don't even get started on that.
And it's just another song that has fatigue for me because, I like it though. I mean, like I said, there's not too many Van Halen. There's a lot of fatigue for me, but I wouldn't put it in my top. Not mine.
Right. All right. Number 7 for you.
Number 7 for me goes back to the first album. Probably because I got one more off that album. One of my favorite songs ever. Sammy does it, but it doesn't as good as David does. Ain't Talking About Love. I love the guitar part, the beginning and stuff. I remember back. Do you remember back a thing called answer machines, Stevie? Do you remember those?
Vaguely, yeah, vaguely.
I had one back in the 90s, early 90s, and I worked.
Oh, no.
And I had to go to work one day, and so I screened my calls, Of course, I had the intro and stuff, and my boss called me. He was calling to give me the day off. He goes, "Hey, Van Halen, pick up." I mean, he knew exactly who it was. And, he's older than me. Oh, man, he's cool. But just a song I've always loved. I love the, hey, 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 and it just, that's what I have as my notes. Hey, 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 and Sammy does it. I think it's on that one that came out there in the For Unlawful Call of Knowledge. It's not good. It's not as good as Dave.
Yeah.
But it's just I love the intro it's just kick ass, man. I mean, it's one of the best Van Halen songs ever. That guitar riff, that is, just, I don't know how, legendary.
That is on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So, and keeping with Van Halen too, and this one, it was a little bit different. I remember hearing it for the first time when like I said, I went backwards and listened to it. And this one, Roth wanted to call this song Dance, Lolita, Dance. Now, can you imagine this Dance the Night Away being called Dance, Lolita, Dance?
Even back then.
Yes. I mean, he said during a 2006 performance in San Diego, he claimed he wrote the song in tribute to an intoxicated woman who was having sex in the back of a truck and ran with her pants on backwards while escaping police officers into the bar where the fledgling band was playing. So that's where it danced the night away. She was dancing her night away. So, but yeah, he does it. You know, this, I actually thought for a long time that this was a different band. I mean, it doesn't sound Van Halen-ish for that era. It's different, but they pull it off. I mean, it's like,
isn't it funny how these songs that you know to love? It's like, I think Summer of '69's one. You hear Bryan Adams talk about what it really means.
yeah.
Then you hear Beautiful Girls, what it, and then you hear this one, and you're at a, middle school dance, and dance the night away. You're thinking, you're just there with your girl, just dancing. But I mean, obviously, you know what? But obviously, they have songs like Spanish Fly. You know exactly what that is. You talk about not being allowed today.
Yeah, definitely.
That's called something else today. Let's leave that there.
Yeah.
But yeah, these songs that you just think are so wholesome and everything, it's like, holy crap. You know what I mean? I never heard that story about the Lolita.
Yeah. Yeah. So, number 6 for you.
For many years, I thought this was a Van Halen song. It's got elements of Van Halen. And I think I always heard it, but when I had the album, I'm like, holy crap. This is a David Lee Roth song. And it's like it's called Going Crazy. I thought for the longest time that was Van Halen. And it was like, holy, and is it on Skyscraper or Eat 'em and Smile? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's on Eat 'em and Smile.
Eat 'em and Smile, but I could see Sammy doing this one. I could see Roth doing this one. I mean, it sounds like a Van, even the guitar solo, and the drums in the end, when you go, wow, I mean, and then I was like, holy crap, this is a David Lee Roth song.
I've got some on my honorable mentions as well. I honestly think that this song he wrote the song
Had to be
for the EP, because guess what's the name of the EP that had
from the Heat, Crazy from the Heat.
Going Crazy from the Heat. I think this came out. He just left it off of that EP. I honestly think he did that EP just to piss the rest of the Van Halen brothers off.
You talk about album covers and stuff, but if there has ever been an album cover where I'd like to jump into, it's Crazy from the Heat.
Yeah.
That water just looks so inviting, just.
But yeah, Going Crazy, I like that. That was one of the probably in my top 5 on the Eat 'em and Smile album. Definitely.
I love the intro guitar, and I like the video where he's on the surfboard, and when he he does his little at the end and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know. I think, and I may be wrong here, but if you go back and watch some of the and here we are with the wrestling stuff again. Watch some of the old Clash of Champions that WCW did. The intro for Going Crazy was used a couple of times on some of the intros to the Clash of Champions, because I remember hearing it the first time, like, huh, and I was like, yeah, it's got to be it. But it's Going Crazy, definitely. All right, number 6, and this is probably our first repeat. Hot for Teacher. I mean, the intro to it, and then the way Roth. I mean, does Roth have the greatest singing voice in the world? No, but, and I'm not. He's better. He's a better singer than Ace Frehley, that's for sure. But he has songs that fit his voice. This song fits. I couldn't see anybody else singing Hot for Teacher but Roth. I couldn't see Sammy do it. This is one of those songs that Sammy couldn't do. Just like there's songs Dave couldn't do with Sammy. Sammy couldn't do this.
Like Ain't Talking About Love. Sammy couldn't,
Yeah, and you know, the video, the whole concept of the video was great. With you have young Van Halen. Each member has a kid version of them, and here he goes with the oh yeah, I've got it bad. I mean, it's just great.
Have you noticed in that video how Roth is in his element, but the other three are just like,
oh yeah, they're just
what
like,
are we doing?
but and that could have been something that Roth wanted to do. They really didn't want to do.
But that's Roth. He's the showman. The other guys were musicians.
Who do you think did the voice of Waldo in that video?
That was David, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a well-known comedian. He's no longer with us.
Gilbert Godfrey?
No.
George Carlin?
You'll never get. Phil Hartman.
Saturday Night Live?
Yep. Phil Hartman.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now. The whole concept of it, just like we said, would never be done today. And I'll tell you this, there's a
hey, wait, except in Florida, because it happens in Florida a lot. So.
The intro to this song was when I played football in high school, they had a late night football show that would show highlights of all the football games, and that was the intro to that Football Friday show, that Hot for Teacher, and the drums.
That drum beat always reminded me like an old car running.
Yeah,
that. That's how the old cars sounded. I like the thing at the end, what they're doing now. Of course, Alex is a gynecologist. I guess they had some kind of Asian thing with maybe Michael Anthony. They had him as Genghis Khan, and now he's a sumo. But I love the freaking one of Eddie. He's relaxing somewhere.
Psychiatric hospital patients.
And of course, can you see David Lee Roth as a freaking game show host? Yeah.
Well, that was, a classic video, probably one of the best videos, but that's my number 6. So our first repeat.
That's what I miss about the 80s and stuff, is because, videos were something to look forward to. Like, hey, have you seen the video for Hot?
I know why. They give me the reasons why they don't do them like that anymore, but it still doesn't make sense. A video enhances a song more than anything.
But nobody buys albums anymore, so record companies don't even put money towards it no more.
Exactly. These, just like we've had Tame and Sorry on here several times. They do videos for some of their songs. They can't afford to do it for every song they release, but some of their songs and some of their videos have been classic videos too.
And you would see some of those videos back in the 80s and 90s and go, that costs like $300,000. How in the hell? It's got to be salaries and catering and all that crap.
Yeah. All right.
Number 5. Okay, number 5. We go back to the first album. And when I say Van Hagar, I mean Van Hagar. When I say Van Halen, I mean Roth. Okay.
Roth, yeah.
Van Halen, they weren't known for their ballads, not back then. This is a pretty heartfelt ballad, I think, and it not so much about love, but it's about maybe believing in somebody. And it's a song that's just always. I remember when I heard "Running with the Devil," then "Eruption," then "You Really Got Me," and I was just like, oh, balls to the wall. But from the first beginning, just the guitar thing, "Little Dreamer," the song always it hits me. It's just this could be a Sammy song. I can see Sammy Hagar doing this song. It's kind of got the balladist thing, but Roth wasn't known for his ballads, except when he talks about himself, "Sensible Shoes." But "Little Dreamer," I can see. I don't know if he's ever done it, but I can see Sammy doing it.
I don't think I don't ever remember hearing him do that.
And I don't think they play it, but it's just a kick-ass song that just always hits me in the gut. It's just about they voted you least likely to succeed, but you showed them, because you quit dreaming, you quit living, man. You just got to keep dreaming. Keep living.
That's on my honorable mentions.
Well, you got good taste, Stevie.
I don't know about But anyway. All right. So
well, with this song anyway. How's that?
Yeah, with this song. Number 5 for me is from Fair Warning. And I mean, Unchained. I mean, just a great driving song. And it's like you said, balls to the wall. But it's one of those songs that Van Halen's definitely known for. I remember when I heard it the first time, that's another song I was like, is this really Van Halen? And yeah, I mean, Fair Warning was not one of my favorite albums, but Unchained is one of my favorite songs. It's definitely my top 5 for raw songs. But um, set Chuck Klossman of Vulture.com said it was the second best Van Halen song. I don't know about that. Said it merely feels like insatiable, straight ahead rock, but the lick is freaky, hovering above the foundation while the drums oscillate between two unrelated performance philosophies. I think he was on something when he wrote that. But
what did he write for Rolling Stone? Like when they cut down Led Zeppelin?
They're evident, and there is something that you need to listen for. I don't know if you know this or not. The song is notable for being producer Ted Templeman's only vocal contribution to the band.
Give me a break.
Come on, Dave. Give me a break during the interlude of the song.
I used to tell people that, and they're like, who's Ted Templeton? Yeah. I go, you like the Bullet Boys and you like Van Halen. You know who Ted Templeton is?
The Bullet Boys. There's a blast from the past right there.
But it's funny because I would know shit like that back in the day, and they would say, man, they always told me I should end up like Eddie Trunk. I mean, I probably wouldn't make it today because I've thrown new music out. I don't enjoy new music, so I probably wouldn't have done good.
All right.
That's another book that I want to get. I got that on Audible on my list is his book. I want to read his book because I think he worked with he wanted Sammy to be in Van Halen before Roth, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think he told Eddie Trunk, can you imagine? I don't know if it'd be as good.
I don't think, I think it was right time for Roth and them, that sound and his sound hit. I think that was, I don't know if it would have been as big.
I don't know if we would have got an Unchained or a Hot for Teacher with Sammy. I think we would have, got a Rock Candy or something, or, Sammy fit the 80s Van Halen and 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That sound.
Roth was good in the 70s. I mean, they were young, and Sammy was a bit older already. So.
All right. Number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is did you mention this one? You were talking about your daughter liking it. Panama. Was that on your list?
Hasn't been yet.
Okay. Panama. I love this song. I love this song since I first heard it. I got 1984. I remember the 1984, the music, the keyboards thing was like, what the hell? I don't know what this is. Then Jump, and then Panama was after Jump. And I go, that's my tune. I love that song. That's a song I don't get tired of. The video is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Eddie when he's upside down. Alex is cool as shit because he's drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And I love that Roth is getting arrested. And, and I love the Jack Daniels bass. And to this day, I don't know how people can drink whiskey or bourbon straight. I don't get it. But great video.
Yep, and maybe I'll talk about that again in a little bit. So Panama, I'll just save it for a little while. Number 4 for me, off the self-titled debut. And I remember the first time hearing this. You hear that intro, dun, 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 and then it sounds like keyboard, like, but Running with the Devil. Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's in your top 10, and you don't get a fatigue factor.
No, this one doesn't get a fatigue with me. 2009 VH1 said this was the 9th greatest hard rock song of all time. Klosterman, the guy that was high, rated it the 8th best Van Halen song, praising the staccato bass playing as well as Roth's vocal performance. Car horns at the start of it. The horns were taken from the band's own cars and mounted in a box and powered by 2 car batteries with a foot switch. Let's see. But yeah, this song is, people think they hear "Running with the Devil" satanic. I mean, it's not. They've never said the full meaning of the song, but it's pretty much like a young band touring, pretty much probably their own story. I know Gene Simmons. This is one of the demos that Gene Simmons helped with. But I just remember the first time hearing it, I was like, because as a kid, I vaguely remember it, but as a kid, I'm hearing, the guy that listens to Kiss scared of running with the devil. I mean, but I'm sitting here with a demon breathing fire and spitting blood. Also big into the Adam Sandler movie Little Nicky. Of course, that fit there, but Running with the Devil. I mean, that intro right there. We've had some great intros on these songs, from Hot for Teacher to Running with the Devil. I just love Running with No Fatigue for Running with the Devil to me.
Yeah, I didn't make my list because it's Fatigue. I don't know if you're like me. You probably are because you're a Kiss tard. Did it drive you nuts in Detroit Rock City? And at the end, they're playing Running with the Devil. And I'm thinking this movie took place in a Destroyer tour.
Yeah.
But Running the Devil didn't come out till 78.
Yeah.
And you know why that happened? Because Pete Townshend's a penis. And he wouldn't allow them to use, I think they want to use Don't Won't Get Fooled Again or some who's
right.
Or like, I don't know, what's that? We're all wasted, won't get fooled. There was some song that they wanted to use in that movie, but Pete Townshend, Roger Daltrey, cool guy, love his book. But Pete Townshend wouldn't let Kiss use it because he doesn't like Kiss or Led Zeppelin.
Who cares?
But that drove me nuts. It's like, why is this song? This song is 70. But you get like that. You get to be a Kiss star, and you're like, God, am I that much of a nerd? Nobody else in the movie would know that, but of course, Kiss stars. Yeah. But I love the song. It's about the devil. I mean, God of Thunder is about the demons. I mean, it's just I love it. And have you ever heard that isolated track of Roth singing this without the music? It's kind of scary, bro.
I have to listen to it. I love listening to the isolated tracks and stuff.
So,
you're number 3.
I was going back to an album. You've actually had, I think, a couple of songs on, and I haven't had one on. But we talked about it earlier. We talked about how Michael Anthony is an MVP in backing tracks, and I think that's why what's that debacle they did after Roth came back in the band with Wolfgang? I think that's why that didn't work for me, because
different kind of truth.
Yeah, because I listened to that and I don't know, because I was older, but it's like they put just his vocals on top of the music. There was no thing to bridge them together like Michael.
Right.
Anthony. So this is one of my favorite Van Halen songs, obviously. Women in Love. I love that backing track of Michael Anthony. I put that on All Things Rock, Metal, or something, and some guy, and he's actually a friend of mine, won't remain nameless. So that's one of the Van Halen's worst songs. I go, what kind of crack are you smoking? That is one of I love the song. I think it's great, and great song, Women in Love, and I love Michael Anthony's vocals on it.
That did not make my list or my honorable mentions.
And you can do all you can to erase him off the albums, but you can never erase his voice.
Nope. Never going to happen. He, like you said, he's the MVP with those harmonies that he does sometimes. It was incredible.
That's what they were missing when they got together, but 2 of them were too butthurt because he's playing with Sammy.
Yep, exactly. All right. My number 3, excuse me. This is as close to, I guess, what you would call a ballad, too, that Roth would do. A slow tempo song off 1984, I'll Wait. Actually written as a collaboration between Van Halen and Michael McDonald.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right. I knew that.
Ted Templeman brought him in when David Lee Roth had trouble completing the melody and lyrics to the song. Like Jump.
I love me some Michael McDonald, man. That boy can sing.
Yep. Song subject was inspired by a woman wearing men's underwear in a Calvin Klein print media ad. Roth pinned the ad up beside his television and addressed the lyrics to the model.
Maybe Roth is a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, that was a woman, though. It was a woman wearing men's underwear. You remember those ads they had back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll wait. The chorus is catchy, and it was something that I didn't really expect. It's keyboard heavy, of course, really keyboard heavy. But
I always
not Roth and Templeman wanted to remove the song from the album, and Eddie and engineer Don Landy were the ones that pushed for it to be on the album.
Oh yeah,
and it ends up being a big hit. I mean, it goes to.
But did they release it as a single?
Yeah, second single released from their record reached number 13. Despite the song being a hit, no video was ever filmed for it.
I always remember back in my when I really was into Van Halen, and I was really into Claudia Schiffer. I was mentioned. This is the video that would feature her.
You will.
I was a little dreamer back then.
All right, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me. We're going back. You're probably gonna go what the hell? We're gonna go back to A Little Ain't Enough. Another ballad. This is actually a ballad. I think I saw David Lee Roth do this song. It's back when he had the ponytail. I don't know who it was. It was either. It was a late night show. I don't think it was Letterman. I don't know who it was.
Letterman, Leno.
This is like in the early '90s. Who was? It could have been Letterman when he was still on NBC.
Yeah.
It's a song called "Tell the Truth." It's off Edelman Smile. It's off Little Ain't Enough. You probably haven't heard it. It's a deep track. It's like I smoke a cigarette and I know I've had enough. Mashed whiskey in another paper cup. Talks about it's got the Rothisms. I lay awake because big dreamers never sleep. I think I was probably going through relationship bullshit at the time. And it's just a song that just hit me. And I just God, you talk about a song that should have been a hit. But I think somebody else doing it, maybe.
Yeah.
Would have been, I mean, if you get a chance to hear it, Stevie, it's.
I have to listen to it.
I love this song, but I like Little Ain't Enough, so I'm a little different.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that one. I know I've listened to that album, but I don't. It doesn't ring a bell with me, so it might not have stood out.
Yeah, I listened to the album once.
I did. Number 2 for me. It's off of Edelman Smile. Of course, Yankee Rose. From the crazy video to the intro to it, where Dave is talking back and forth with Steve Vai's guitar. And I mean, I remember I'd never heard anything like that before in my life. When that had, let me roll up to the silo and take a look. Whoa, she's beautiful. I mean, that's just awesome there. But this right here, if David stayed in Van Halen, this would have been a mega hit on the next album after 1984. I mean, it was a mega hit anyway, but it would have been an even bigger hit with Van Halen, I believe.
You can see. You think Eddie would do this song?
I think he would. I can see.
I don't see Eddie doing the Steve Vai trick.
I mean, I'm not talking about maybe not doing the talking with the guitar. I'm talking about just the song alone.
I just don't see Eddie doing that. Oh, what? But what am I talking about? They did that shit on Live Without a Net with Sandy.
Yeah, they did. This went to 16th. I guarantee if this was a Van Halen, it would have been in top 10. Coming off 1984, yeah.
But can you imagine the outrage if they had that? Not if you're the last immigrant pusher
on
earth, honey.
I don't know if they would have done. I don't know if Eddie would have let him do all that. I mean, now that was all right with me, but I can't see Eddie letting that go. But
and that guy with the girls, he's in forget about it, Dave. Forget about it.
Forget
He
about
was
it.
in the, I think That's Life or
No, it was
All Day,
no.
All TV.
Well, he was probably in all of them because he was
Yeah.
in Just a Gigolo and I Ain't Got Nobody too.
Yeah. But have you heard the Spanish intro?
No.
There's where he speaks in Spanish, and Steve Vai's doing the guitar lick, but it's David's talking in Spanish because it's probably on Spotify or Apple Music. Because it came up on my playlist one time, I'm like, what the hell is this? I guess he did a Spanish version of this.
Oh my god!
The song's in Spanish.
So the video.
You haven't heard that?
No.
I gotta play a little bit of it for you.
Oh great! You know,
it's your pick, Stevie.
If you hear the song, you're thinking he's talking about like the Statue of Liberty and all this stuff, and in the video, there's no visual effect of a Statue of Liberty or anything like that. Bumping and grinding, Roth rump shaking, even simulating coital insertion and thrusting with his microphone. Imagine that. Isn't that the one where he has like the assless pants on too? Great.
Bueno, déjame nomás subir a la acera para echarle un ojo. Uy, qué bella. Me refiero a la Yankee Rose.
He sings the whole song in Spanish.
Lord have mercy. Well,
I'll quit playing too much. I don't want you to get sued.
Yeah, YouTube just canceled us.
Oh crap! I forgot about that.
Number 2 for me is Yankee Rose. All right, number 1.
Number 1 for me. It's a repeat. And I tell you, I'm a Sammy guy, but this is probably my all-time favorite David Van Halen song, Hagar or Van Halen. And you hit it before, Unchained. I love the guitar. I love just the video is kind of weird. You know, if David Roth ever had if he's ever had hip replacement surgery, you'll know why. Is because I mean, it's just I remember seeing pictures of like when I was kind of discovering Van Halen, it would show like Roth was like naked almost all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like no shirt and he wore under. I mean, he had the body for it. He could get away with it. But it was like, God, did they play nude? But then I think this was like, God, what did Unchained come off of? Was that off Women and Children? What is that one off of?
That was Fair Warning, wasn't it?
Fair Warning.
I think.
Oh, Fair Warning. Okay, Fair Warning. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So a repeat, Unchained.
Okay.
My numero uno. Hey, put a rock there.
Oh Lord. So my number 1 is also a repeat, and we talked about it earlier. I talked about it when we started the show. Panama. It has never fatigued with me like Jump has. Like you said, the video is pretty funny.
Same here.
And despite its name, the song is not about the country. It's reportedly written about a car. Roth explained the meaning behind the song. It said the song features some suggestive lyrics. It's about a car that Roth saw race in Las Vegas. Its name was the Panama Express.
Huh. So, I always thought it was about a motorcycle reached down between my legs.
And he said he wrote the song after being accused by a reporter of singing only about women partying and fast cars. He realized he had never written a song about fast cars, and he decided to write one.
Unlike I Can't Drive 55.
Yeah. But, you know, you hear the bridge. I think one of the best parts of it is the bridge part. Like you said, I can barely see the road from the heat coming off. And then you can hear Eddie. I don't know if you ever noticed that his Lamborghini in the background revving. Ooh.
I like it when Roth has the hairdryer during that part in the video, and he's like blowing it towards Eddie. It's
a hilarious video, like you said. Them flying all over the place. The Jack Daniels bass guitar, which I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." But yeah, that is definitely my all-time favorite Roth song with Van Halen. I can't say it might be my favorite Van Halen song because we may come back to that later down the line. But this one is my favorite Roth song.
Well, if we go back and we do a Van Halen, Unchained will be my number one.
Let's see what
Spoiler alert.
Chuck Klosterman again. Fourth best Van Halen song, calling it the strongest pure riff in the catalog, which I'll agree with. You know, that riff is pretty cool. Let's see.
I'd put it above Hot for Tea. I'd put it the best song on the album.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So let's recap. Let's recap Warden's top 10. Number 10, Sensible Shoes. Number 9, Hot for Teacher. Number 8, Damn Good. Number 7, Ain't Talking About Love. Number 6, Going Crazy. Number 5, Little Dreamer. Number 4, Panama. Number 3, Women in Love. Number 2, Tell the Truth. And then number 1, Unchained. My top 10 was number 10, Oh Pretty Woman. Jump at number 9. Beautiful Girls at number 8. Number 7, Dance the Night Away. Number 6, Hot for Teacher. Number 5, Unchained. Number 4, Running with the Devil. Number 3, I'll Wait. Number 2, Yankee Rose. And number 1, Panama. So, what you got? You said you had some honorable mentions.
I have like 9 honorable mentions. Some you probably heard and probably haven't. I tell you, I loved Roth, man. I love his solo stuff. Number one of them, She's My Machine. It's getting laid about 3 a.m. I like that one. That reminds me of my buddy Brett when I used to pick him up. He didn't have a car. He'd always be drunk and always singing that. So that just like, I love that song. I played it for him like recently. He's like, oh, I don't remember that song. Being kids. Drop Dead Legs. That's off 84. Ladies Night in Buffalo. I think that's off Eat 'em and Smile.
Yeah, that's off Eat 'em and Smile.
Hot House of Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Top Jimmy. Tobacco Road. That's an old I think that's an old Eric Johnson, or who's that guy that sold the devil? That's an old blues song. Little Late Enough. And the only song I like this whole album, which is my least favorite Van Halen song, and The Cradle Will Rock. I just don't like that album, Women and Children First. It's not one of my favorites.
And what does he say at the end of that?
Have you seen Junior's grades? Although I should love this because that's probably the crap I went through as a kid.
Yeah.
And one, I don't know if you ever heard this one, but I was excited when this came out on their, I think, 96 compilation. When Roth was ready to reunite, but nobody else was. It's classic Roth. And I think Van Hagar was never the same. It's a song called Me Wise Magic.
Yeah.
That song is classic Roth. And another Michael Anthony that you can hear just kicking ass. But did Samuel tell you that when they did those 2 songs with Roth, it was never the same.
Yeah. That was off the they put a greatest hits when
he had 2 songs on there.
Yeah, when he came back, they did a greatest hits, and he had 2 new songs that he did.
Sammy was pissed.
Yes.
And they got back together for the other compilation, but it was just never the same.
Yeah. All right. My honorable mentions is Going Crazy. See, did I have that? Yeah, I had that on my list. And The Cradle Will Rock, Little Dreamer. And also I had Ladies Night Buffalo. Ladies Night Buffalo doesn't get enough credit. That was a really great song with that album. Because I remember the first time when I got the cassette, I was like, what the heck is a Ladies Night in Buffalo? But yeah, Ladies Night Buffalo is a great song.
I guess I have so many 1984 songs because that's like the first Roth album.
Yeah.
And I think that's my favorite Van Halen song album.
Well, I should have put Happy Trails.
It's funny. You play that for a kid now, be like, who's this? I mean, we knew that because we grew up watching Roy Rogers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And also there was another one that they did. I don't know if you remember that. Big Bad Bill
Sweet
It's
Jim
Sweet
now.
William. Sweet
Yeah.
William now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a guy that he's like one of my best friends. But when he's a couple years younger than me in school, and we would go to like a basketball game. We both were on the team, and I was always the one with the music. I had the suitcase that I held my cassettes in, and I had my bot, and it was gonna especially if we had a long road trip, it was gonna be before we got there. Big Bad Bill was coming on just for him. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William now.
You can definitely tell. You can definitely tell who had the kind of the catchy phrases, and I mean there wasn't like that with Sammy. It was more heartfelt and serious.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was two totally different bands. I mean, they took on the image of the singer. They did what they had to fit Roth's image, and then they did what it had to fit Sammy's image of it. So yeah, it was two different bands, and I enjoyed both of them. So, but yeah, Roth. This is our David Lee Roth top 10. Any last words?
I'm going to make an announcement that our next episode going to be top 10 Gary Sharon songs.
Van Halen.
He has some good songs with Extreme though.
Oh, with Extreme. I was going to say the only one that I could really say I would even consider off Van Halen was Without You.
That's a good song. I like it.
It is a good song. I love that song.
That poor boy never had a chance. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
After that, it's all downhill.
I mean, you think about that. How many bands have gone on to be probably more successful album-wise, sales-wise, with a new singer?
That's true.
Motley didn't do it. I mean, I can't think of Van Halen. Maybe who else? Who else did that?
That's a good question.
But maybe
really don't know.
Gary Sharon at a different time. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
I don't think it was much Sharon's fault. I just think honestly, the songs on that were not up to par. The material was not up to par on that.
You take a songwriter like Sammy out, and you take a songwriter like Roth out. I mean, Sammy could compensate for the Roth thing.
Yeah.
But when you lose both, I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
But anyway, any last words before we get out of here?
No, it was good. A good comeback.
Yeah.
Roth is still out there. I was disappointed because I had tickets to see him, and he was supposed to open up for Kiss. And I know that, as much as I enjoy painting,
I knew that was coming.
It was the third time I saw that dude, and it was like, but that's another thing. Shit, in Europe they had Mammoth opening. It's like, come on, give us somebody. I was really disappointed about Roth. I know he's not Roth what he was, but it would have been a good send off, and
it would have made more sense than having a freaking painter up there.
But something had to happen because they didn't, after COVID, they didn't invite him back. So he probably, pissed and Paul's
the ego got a little bit too big.
Well, I always knew that him and Gene didn't like each other because you hear them talk on Howard Stern about each other, there and,
Definitely. But, and we'll see how, who the opening act are for those last two Kiss dates in December will be. I'm hearing a lot about Paul Son's band, Evan's band, but okay, whatever. But come on, give it if you're going to do that, have two opening acts, and have Kulik's band up there. They won't be able to match Kulik. That's why they wouldn't have Kulik's band up, because they would get blown off the stage by Kulik's band. But
honestly, they just need to leave it. They need to play a longer set or have the painter. They don't need anybody else up there.
I just don't think they need to paint. They don't.
They're not going to get Kulik. They don't need Paul's son. They don't need it.
Yeah.
But hey, I saw Iron Maiden and Steve Harris's daughter opened up. They were actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see what what happens with that. But all right.
Nephewtism will only get you so far, or is it nepotism?
Nephewtism. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this show for On the Fly. We will be back sometime.
I'll probably be back in about 6 months. So
it's gonna be like somebody with the Zeppelin Chronicles. Did I say that?
Uh-oh.
Shot fired. No, I'm just messing. We love those guys over that Shout Out Loudcast. They are 20 million times busier than what we are. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it. We'll see you next time on the Fly.
See ya.